So this next bit of problems are just solving equations in one variable. And so we'll start with the first one here. The idea is always with these, you're trying to get that x term by itself. So in order to do that, we're going to start off by adding 7 to both sides here. So we'll get 4x equals 40. And then to get x by itself, we need to undo the multiplying by 4. So we'll divide both sides by 4 to get x equals 10. 13. Again, the goal is to get this x term by itself, but we have to do some simplifying first. So we'll do that distribution. Minus 2 times x is minus 2x. Minus 2 times 4 is minus 8 equals 7. Combine those terms to get x minus 8 equals 7. And then we'll just add 8 to both sides to get x equals 15. Here we have some fractions. There's different strategies for dealing with these fractions. A lot of times I just like to multiply through by a least common multiple to get rid of those fractions. So again, it's the idea of finding what's the smallest number that both 5, 4, and 2 will go into. And we'll see that 20 is the best number for that. So what we can actually do is just start off by multiplying both sides by 20, and now we'll get rid of the fractions. So if I distribute the 20 on this side, we'll get 20 times 2/5 x minus 20 times 1/4 equals 20 times 3/2. So you can just see I multiplied every term by 20, and you'll see why that's a good strategy here in a second. 20 times 2/5, 5 goes into 20 4 times. 4 goes into 20 5 times, and 2 goes into 20 10 times. So now we're left with no fractions. 4 times 2 times x is 8x, minus 5 times 1 is 5, equals 10 times 3 is 30. We get 8x equals 30 plus 5. All I did is add 5 to both sides here. So 8x equals 35, x equals 35/8. There are other strategies for dealing with the fractions, but whatever works best for you. Same thing here. On 15, we have some fractions. I want to get rid of them, so let's find that least common multiple of 2 and 5. Those are our only denominators. Well, the smallest number that both 2 and 5 will go into will be 10. So I can start off this problem by multiplying both sides by 10. So I get 10 times u over 2 minus 10 times u over 5 equals 10 times 3. You'll see this is just that equation above with everything multiplied by 10. And we could do the same thing we did on 14. 2 goes into 10 5 times. 5 goes into 10 2 times. And there's no fraction on this side, so 5 times u is 5u. 2 times u is 2u equals 30. We have 3u equals 30. And then we just go ahead and divide both sides by 3 to get u equals 10. Whenever we have proportions, these next 3 problems are proportion problems. You have a fraction equals a fraction. Often a quick way to start it is to do the cross multiplication, because the cross multiples will equal each other. So 4 times x is 1 cross, and that will equal 7 times 12. And again, the goal here is to get rid of x by itself, or make x by itself, and so we can divide both sides by 4 to get x equals 7 times 12 over 4. And you can either multiply that out on a calculator, or I'm going to note here that 4 goes into 12 3 times, leaving a 1 at the bottom. And so x will just be 7 times 3, where x equals 21. Here, now the trick is when there's a negative sign, you got to make sure to put that negative on one of the numbers before we cross multiply. So I'm going to go ahead and rewrite this as -1/3, and then I'll do the cross multiply. Can't ignore that negative sign. So 9 times -1 is 1 cross equals x plus 2 times 3 is the other cross, and then we work from there. -9 equals 3 needs to distribute. 3x plus 3 times 2 is 6. Subtract 6 from both sides to get -15 equals 3x. And divide both sides by 3 to get x equals -5. Now, in this video, I haven't really been plugging things back in. Maybe in this one, I'll go ahead and do that. So to check to see if this works, you get x plus 2/9 and equals ((-1/3). So if I put -5 in for x, I get -5 plus 2/9 equals equals ((-1/3). -5 plus 2 is -3/9. And that does in fact equal ((-1/3). Equals ((-1/3). Okay, and then here there's no negative signs to worry about, so we can just strictly cross multiply. So the one cross is 3 times x plus 2 needs to equal 5 times x minus 2. And then we got some simple distribution here. So 3 times x, 3x. 3 times 2 is 6 equals 5 times x is 5x. 5 times -2 is -10. And now we just need to combine some like terms here. So I'll add 10 to both sides here. So we get 3x plus 16 equals 5x. And I'll subtract 3x from both sides here. 16 equals 2x. Divide both sides by 2 to get x equals 8.